Hello everyone, good morning and welcome to Salesforce Developer Group, Varanasi, India. Today we will learn mastering in Salesforce testing. Basically, let me tell about myself. My name is Ashish Madhukar, and I'm founder of SFDC Madhukar. SFDC Madhukar is a blog and YouTube channel. There we are creating Salesforce training video in Hindi. And I'm a Salesforce certified and 2 years Copilot. I'm working as a senior Salesforce developer in KVP Business Solution. My expertise in LWC and REST API integration. Our guest today, Nikhil Kumar. He is the expertise in Salesforce testing. So let's more about know the Nikhil. So Nikhil working as a Salesforce testing. He have 3+ year experience and he have specialized in service and experience cloud testing and he is also Salesforce admin certified. So let's succeed together. And over to you, Nikhil.
Okay, thank you, Ashish. Uh, and welcome everyone who have joined this session on this weekend. It is very tough to take time on over the weekend and to join a session. So it seems that you all have the spirit to learn something new from the community speakers, the like-minded people. So I welcome everyone who have joined. And first of all, thanks to the Ashish for giving me the opportunity to speak about my experience on this Salesforce community event in this Varanasi group. So thank you so much, Ashish, for giving me this opportunity to speak here. Uh, so let me share my screen and please let me know once you are able to see my screen. Is it visible? I guess.
Yes, yes, it is.
Okay. Thank you so much. So first of all, I want to know how many of you who have joined are from the testing background. Is there anyone who is from the testing background?
Yes, Abhishek and Private Salesforce developer. Abhishek is working as testing Salesforce testing.
Okay, okay, okay. All right. So today we will talk about the software testing in general, what it is, and type of the testing, levels of testing, benefits of doing, and uh, you know advantages and disadvantages of not doing the testing. Then we will try to relate it with the Salesforce. Okay, why do we need testing in Salesforce, and what exactly we test in Salesforce when we say we are a Salesforce tester. So what exactly we do there as a Salesforce tester. Okay, so this is a little bit about me. I work as a senior software test engineer, and this is my LinkedIn profile. I am based in Chandigarh. I am a Salesforce certified administrator and also a service cloud consultant. And these two certificates does not mean that I work as a admin and as a service cloud consultant, but these are the really helpful for me to perform my testing activities in Salesforce. So today's agenda to discuss about is we will talk about the testing, then we will go and talk about why do we need testing and what is testing, software testing life cycle. We'll talk about the type of testing, levels of testing. Then we will talk about the life cycle of bug and what is testing in Salesforce. We will have an overview of test automation, okay, in Salesforce, how exactly it can help the QA community, if they go and implement the test automation, and what are the tools available for Salesforce testing. And we will go and do the Q&A session as well. So let's begin with the first question: what is testing? So testing has many definitions, right? For everyone, it has its own definition for testing, right? But in general, testing is a process of evaluating the actual result with the expected results, right? We have some expected results defined by the business team or the stakeholders. We have the expected results, right? Then our developers, the development team, they build a software or a requirement, they implement, right? Then what software tester does, software tester evaluate the actual result with the expected result, right? What should be the expected result and what is the actual result? So this comparison, the process of comparing these two things is called software testing, basically. Okay, if these both results are not matching, then we log a bug. We can say it error, bug, defect. Okay, we'll talk about these also. So testing is a process of analyzing a software item to detect the difference between the existing and the required conditions and evaluate the features of the software item. So basically, there are two steps of doing the software testing. So first is in the early stage of software development, and second is the validation part. So when we talk about the verification, all right, so verification is the first step of software testing process. So in verification, what we do, we usually go and check, are we building the system right, or whatever the product or the website or the application utility, are you building the right, are you building the utility right? So that is a part of verification. So basically what we do in this, we check the software requirement specification document. So for example, a stakeholder or a client has some requirement, they have given the requirement to the business team, right? And business team has you know made some document, SRS document or specification document. Okay, so with the help of inspection and a formal review, we go and check whether whether the business team has the right requirements, what exactly the client is asking for, or is there any mismatch. For example, if there is any mismatch, right, so we can go and find the bug or the defect early in the stages before it implements it, it goes before it goes to the development phase. So that is a part of verification. There are several other methods of verification, we'll talk about those in further slides. And in the validation, we focus on the line, are we building the right product? Okay, so after verifying the documentation and high level designs and all, and after the unit testing, the build comes for the testing department, right, for the testing. Then they go and implement the functional testing. They go and check the actual result and the expected result. So that is a part of validation, and then they verify, the QA team verifies that whether this product is the right product or not, what is expected to be built. So that is a part of validation. So now the next question in your mind will be, what tasks come under the verification, right? So these are the four tasks that come under the verification part. And this is a main, the interview question as well, when someone go for the interview, right? So this is the very common, the very general question they ask: what is the verification, and what process, what activities of software testing come under the verification part? So the first one is the reviews and the inspections. So what exactly reviews means? So the team who is decided to review the software requirement and specifications, the designs, the business requirements. So that team go and perform the reviews of the documentations. Okay, they go and match whether the requirements are clear, or or the team have followed any best practices to write the requirements or the user stories, right? So these are the things that the team do under the review section. And then the walkthrough is another the second step of the verification, the second technique of the verification. So in the walkthrough, usually the business team, okay, or the scrum master, or the product owner, what they do, they usually set up some meetings with the stakeholders, with the clients, right? And they involve everybody, like development team also, and the QA team also, right? And the client also, or someone from the client side who is taking care of the particular project. So they set up some meetings and they define the requirements, what they have understood. Okay, so they they discuss the requirements with the client, with the other stakeholders. So basically they clear the requirements, they clear their understanding over the requirements. So exactly what exactly they have understood and what exactly the client wants, so they discuss with the help of walkthrough sessions. Okay, so they, in the walkthrough sessions, they can present their documents, their designs, or QA team can present their test plans, how they have been going to test the particular requirements of the particular software. So this comes under the walkthrough session. And then the next is the code reviews. So after the requirements are finalized and every document seems good, then they go for the code review. So during the code review, the team manager or the team lead, the people go and check the code. Okay, for if the developer is, uh, using the best practices to write the code, right? Or is there any gap in the coding standards, or is there any area of optimization there in the code? So based on their experience, they can suggest to the developers if there is any, area of optimization. So before that particular piece of code or the particular unit going in the QA, going in the testing phase, the during the code reviews, they can detect the bugs, they can detect the area of optimization, and they can fix it, so they can avoid the issues coming in the which can come in the testing phase, right? Then it comes then after the code review, the next and the main important thing is the unit testing of the code, right? So during the unit testing, the individual developer test the units that the test the unit of the code that they have built. So this is if there is any issue, there is any problem that the particular developer, face or finds, then he or she can, resolve at the unit testing level. This is also a level of testing as well. So these are the four things that usually comes under the part of verification process. Now let's talk about what tasks come under the validation part of software testing. So as I already mentioned, that the QA team usually do the validation part of this. So after the formal reviews, the walkthrough sessions, and the unit testing, now the software, the application which is under test, okay, that comes for the testing to the testing team. Then they perform the functional testing on it. They perform the performance testing, security testing, usability testing, and other levels of testing. Depends on your test plan and the time bandwidth, right? And the decided level of testing and the desired level of testing for the particular application. And they find the bugs and they report the bugs, and retesting goes on in this phase. Okay, and there are several methods for performing functional testings and performance testings and security testings. If you go more deep in the functional testing, then we have the smoke testing, sanity testing, right? We have the regression testing, right? If you talk about the performance testing types, then we have the load testing, we have spike testing, we have volume testing. So there are different type of testings, okay, based on the requirements, right? And the security testing as well, which is really important these days. And the usability testing means just to increase the user experience of your application, right? For the people who are, kind of they have some challenges, right, in using the softwares, in using the laptops also. Okay, so there might be some users who have some eyesight problem, right? So they might need some magnifier. So how does your application performs when the particular user use the magnifier on this off on the system, right? So these kind of the type of testing comes under the usability testing. So these all tasks performs under the validation part. So now we have a little a quiz kind of thing, a very simple question. Okay, just to keep everyone engaging in this session, let's have it interactive. So I have this very basic question. So which of the following is a verification method in the software testing? So we have four options. What comes under the verification methods actually? So we have four options: UAT, integration, code review, and load testing. So any one of you who has idea about this can unmute, and or you can use the chat section to tell me about what of these four come under the verification methods.
C option.
I'm sorry.
C option is right.
A option,
Yeah, option C, code review.
code review. Yes, that's right. Code review is the right answer. This comes under the verification methods. And in the code review, the team lead, the development team lead, basically go and check the code for the if the developer is meeting the defined standards, or is there any area of optimization, right? Unwanted DMLs are there or not, right? These kind of the things they go and check if there is any query which is been hitting it inside the loop, or something. So this is the right answer, code review. Ashish, can you please note down the person name?
Yeah, yeah, I'm not down.
Okay, thank you. So we have another one for the validation. So we have another four options. So could anyone please tell me what activity comes under the validation part? Unit testing, code review again, UAT, or integration testing? For the validation, these kind of testing done usually by the QA team. Anybody can tell me?
Anyone can raise your hand and you can directly
No
tell me.
problem. It's a wrong answer or it's a right answer. That doesn't matter. We just want to keep the session interactive.
UAT.
UAT, right? The option B is the right answer. Unit testing comes under the verification part, and code review and integration also. And the UAT is something that comes under the validation part. Okay, so the next topic is, why do we need tests actually? Why, if developer is doing the unit testing and verification has already been taken place, so why do we need the testing? Why do we need to the QA team to hire and pay the salary? And why do we need the QA team, or why do we need the testing of the software applications, right? This is the really important thing to understand, why do we need the testing? So these are some few incidents which have been uh, done in the past. These all have been taken from the internet. So because of the software bugs, these are the two examples I have taken. There are several examples over the internet. Why do we really need testing, right? So this one, the first one is, there was some election things, and there was some coding issues to be blamed for delay the results, right? And on the right side we have another incident which were done because of a glitch in the requirements, because of software bug, right? So to avoid these kind of things, to avoid the human loss or the potential monetary, we really need the software testing. We really need to test the software before launch it in the public, before launch it to the production. So here I have the top 5 reasons for software testing. Why do we really need the software testing? So first one is identifying the defects early in the stage. So during the verification phase, we should find the defects in the requirements. Okay, what kind of bugs we find during the verification phase? We go and we read the requirements, and we try, based on our experience, based on our previous experience of similar projects, we go and check the requirements. If there are any gaps you find in the requirements, you can raise them early during the walkthrough sessions or during the meetings, or you can let your your senior manager or your lead to know that these are the problems in this cannot be implemented. If we implement this, then this can cause another problem. So identifying defects early can save a lot of time. If you are not identifying the defects early in the planning phase, then the defect can go in the coding, and then it can go in your testing, and if not reported during the testing phase, it can go in your production. It can break the application and does not fulfill the requirements of the client, right? So identifying the defects early is the one of the top reason why do we need the software testing, right? Only a person who has a testing mindset, right, who is just hired for the testing of the software, can identify the defects early. Anybody can find the defects early, but the people who are specifically hired for the testing the requirements has a responsible for finding the defects early in the stage, right? And the second reason is to ensure the software quality and the reliability. So if your software is defect free, right, or if your previous releases of the software is defect free, then definitely your users and the client will be reliable for your company and for on your softwares. So to increase the software quality, to keep it reliable, we really need to test the softwares and mitigating the risks of security vulnerabilities, functional vulnerabilities, and system failures. So during the planning phase, during the test planning phase, I would say, we go and we the QA people go and list down all the risks that can be there during the testing or during the release of the product or the particular utility, right? So they from risk, they define the probability of the risk, right, and cause of the risk, how they can mitigate a risk. They also give a remedy to mitigate the risk. And if not, you are not dealing with any risk, if you are just ignoring a particular risk, then in that particular document, the risk analysis document, they define, if you don't consider this risk, then this could be the causes of not considering the risks. So these all things, so to avoid the risk, to mitigate the risks of security vulnerabilities and system failures, we also need the software testing. Enhancing the user satisfaction and increasing the user experience, right? So it is always preferable for the QA person who is testing a software. So just consider yourself as a customer of yours, your product. Okay, so treat the product as you are a user, you are an end user, and then use it. Okay, just if you want to increase the user experience, so keep yourself in the shoes of the user and then use the product. Then you will understand, okay, this area of a particular a component can be increased, okay, if we want to increase the user experience, because all users are not that much technical and tech savvy, right? So so software should work for everybody. Everybody should understand the software. For example, you have a WhatsApp application, so not only the developers and the QA people or the people who are from the technical background, they are using the software, they are using the WhatsApp. Everyone in this time, everyone is using the WhatsApp application, right? So they have a good user experience for everybody, right? So your just to increase the user experience, the UI of your software easy to use, we need the software testing. And last is optimizing the cost and time by preventing the costly rework and delays, as mentioned in the point number 1. If you find the defects early in the stage, then you can save the cost, you can save the time, right, to rework and the delays of your of your delivery of the project or the product. So these are the top 5 reasons we should focus on the software testing, and we should not ignore the software testing. We should always keep the testing in the software development life cycle if we want to avoid these top reasons in your softwares. Okay, so here we are on the next part of this session, which are we'll talk about the levels of the testing. Okay, so there are different levels of the testing: unit testing, integration testing, system testing, and acceptance testing, which is UAT, user acceptance testing. So these are primarily four levels of testing. Okay, so to make a product robust, right, reliable, and high in quality, we should test the software at four levels. Okay, so first one is the unit testing. So this usually done by the development team. Then the integration testing. In the integration level testing, we test the individual during the unit testing. A developer tests the separate units of the code, right, and then they pass it and they send to the git, okay, for merging. So after the code gets merged, we get a integrated unit of testing, right? We get an integrated unit of the software. Then that particular software comes for the QA team to test. Then they perform the integration testing. So now let's suppose you have 10 separate units in your software. So far, development team has built 4 out of 10, and they want you to test, and they 4 have they 4 are integrated with each other, right? So during the unit testing, they have tested these 4 one by one, but not as a whole, as an integrational part. So when they assign as an integrational part, then the QA team go and test the integration behavior of those all components, because they are dependent to each other, right? For example, you have a login, and then after login you need a dashboard page, right? So the login functionality has been tested by the developer, and the dashboard functionality has been tested by the other developer. But you are the only QA who need to test the combined functionality. After login, the user should navigate to the dashboard, right? So here these two units are integrated with each other. So this type of testing comes under the integration level of testing. Then we have the system testing, in which the your software interacts with some other third party systems through API, right? And you have been getting data from the other sources like MuleSoft, or from Jira, or from the other system which is integrated with your system, right? So in the system testing, you usually test your product as a whole. Okay, that if there is any third party integration, that you also test the integration is successful or not, the third party integration. So you test a system as a whole during the system testing. Then we have the acceptance testing. Usually after the system testing, it seems like the software is okay and it's ready to launch for the user, right? It meets all the requirements. Then during the acceptance testing, usually we go and test it in a full copy sandbox. If we talk about the Salesforce, then we perform the UAT in a full copy sandbox, where we have the production like data, and we test the application in just like in a real world, with a real world data. How does it perform when we have a real a real user profile and different profiles to test with? So that comes under the acceptance testing. Okay, now let's talk about the example. Now let's relate it with the real world example. So we talk about the WhatsApp. So if we talk about the unit testing, what scenarios usually comes under the unit testing if we talk about WhatsApp, right? So if we talk about the unit testing, then I have few scenarios here. Testing message sending functionality. So this is an individual functionality of WhatsApp, right? This can be tested as a unit testing, right? This is a single unit, right? So this comes under the unit testing level. This is a unit testing level of testing. Then when we talk about integration testing, we have integration with devices such as your mobile contacts, microphone, camera, right, for sending the messages and video calls. So your system, the application, the WhatsApp application is integrated with your mobile applications, right? So they have been interacting there, integrated with other systems. So just to send the just to perform a video call, they might need your contacts, your camera access, your microphone access, right? So that is an integration. There is integration performing. Now, when we talk about the system testing, then the scenario could be testing cross-platform compatibility, right? Where the WhatsApp should work for every Android phone, for every iOS phone as well, right? So that can be a system testing, part of system testing, system level testing, right? So when we talk about the acceptance testing, so testing the basic message functionality without any error. So every the critical functionality that has been, integrated in the WhatsApp should work for every user without any error on any device with any operating systems. So these I have tried to implement. I have tried to explain the level of testing with by taking a real world example of WhatsApp. Okay, so we have another quiz here, a small one, very basic, very easy. Okay, related to our level of testing. So let's see what it is. What is being tested? The first question is, what is being tested in a unit test scenario where a user sends a text message? So we have four options: integration with device feature, cross platform, message sending, or network connectivity. So what comes at there as a unit test scenario?
Message sending.
Message sending. Yes,
Yeah,
that's right.
message sending.
Yes, that's right. The another one we have, another one is, what is the primary objective of integration testing? Why do we really need the integration testing, guys? We have four options: verify that individual components work correctly, verify the integrated units work together, validate the software against user requirements, or to assess the overall system performance.
B option.
Option B, right?
Yes.
Okay, that's right answer. Okay, so now let's talk about the software testing life cycle, right? Because this is a systematic process, so we have a steps to go with software testing. So as we have software development life cycle, we have SDLC. Similarly, we have software testing life cycle, STLC. So this is a very famous question to ask in an interview. They ask you the different, the steps of STLC. So these are the key steps of software testing life cycle. First step is to requirement gathering and analysis, right? So this also comes under the verification part, the first one, in which the requirement gathering and analysis can be done through various techniques like walkthroughs, reading your documentations, going in the demo calls, right, going in the PI planning calls. So you have lots of requirements, right? So you have gathering the requirements during your calls, and going in the demos, and through the emails. Customer is sending you the emails, right? They are sending you the requirements through the emails and the documentations. Your business team is writing the user stories, right? So these all are a different form of requirements. So you have to go and you have to analyze for testing perspective the requirements, right? So you should have a very well defined requirement, right? In any of the form. It can be a video recording, right? It can be a software requirement specification document, SRS. It can be a user story. It But it should be a well defined, it should be a complete requirement document, whatever they have been giving you. Okay, so you should first, you should go and see if it has a complete requirement or not. So you should analyze it. If you are not satisfied with the requirement, you have been struggling in understanding the requirements, then there is no point to go ahead and test the application, because the requirement is not clear to you. So this is the very first thing that we as a tester go and analyze the requirement. 50% of testing usually gets done during the requirement analysis phase. Then after, you just need to plan how to test that. So first you need to understand what to test and why to test. You should raise the questions to your manager or the business team. So why we have been doing this, why client wants this, what is the business of the client, what is the use case of this, right? First of all, you should understand, then after you can think about the different use cases, different test cases corresponding to that particular use case. So this is very important. This is very we should spend more time during the requirement gathering and the analysis part. Then the next is the test planning. When we are done with the requirement analysis, once we know what to test, exactly what all to test, right, then we go and plan. So during the test planning, what usually we do, we have, we can have a plan on a simple Word document, or ideally we should go and use a predefined best uh, a format to, best format of test plan, which are recommended by IEEE organizations. So you can have that one also, or you can, depends on your, nature of the organization, depends on nature of your project. Okay, and the timeline and the budget of the project also. So during the test planning, usually we, define the objective of the test plan. What is this test plan for, and what exactly to test is. So we write down all the requirements over there, the items to test, and then we, in the test plan document, we usually write uh, the entry criteria, or the type of testing, the level of testing, what all levels we should go and test this particular project. That again depends on the budget and the time and the nature of the application, right? So we define the different levels and the type of testing. Then we go and write and decide the entry criteria and the exit criteria from one level to another level. When to stop the unit testing, we need to decide, we need to define the exit criteria, we need to define the exit criteria for the integration testing, when to stop integration testing, and when to enter in the system testing, we should define the entry criteria, right? Then we in the test plan, we also, decide what tool we have been using for the requirement noting down, for the bug reporting, right? What tools we have been going to use for the test automation. If we have been doing the test automation, we are, automating the test, then what tool we have, we have to include for this particular project. So these all things we go and mention during the test planning, and the timelines also, when to release, when to, complete the integration part, when to complete the end-to-end part, when to complete the UAT, when to complete the functional, when to complete the cross browser testing. So these all specifications of testing we need to include during the test planning. So once this is done, then we send it to our manager or to the approval authority. They go and, review it, and if they have some suggestions, feedback, so they mention, then you go and adjust the feedbacks, and then again it's approved, right? Then we go for the test case designing. So during the test case designing, this is another crucial part, right? So as soon as you know gets recruited in any company as a fresher, so this is the third step, is your first step. So so they assign you the task for test case writing, test case designing, test case development. These all are same, right? And this is a very, uh, uh, very important thing, you know so how analytical, how logical you can think about a particular software to test. These all pointers you write in the form of test cases. So there are different techniques for writing the test cases, right? Like boundary value analysis, equivalent partitioning, module data flow data flow technique for writing the test cases, right? Branching strategy for writing the test cases. So there are different techniques that you use according to the use case for writing the test cases. So your test cases should be, very clear to understand. Anybody other than you uh, can, understand what exactly you want to test in the particular test case, right? So test case designing is a very crucial part. You can, use a G sheet to write the test case, or you can have tools for test cases. We have several tools in the market. Um like you can have AIO. Okay, AIO is a application which is on the Jira Atlassian platform marketplace, that you can. This is free for the servers, and this is also free, I think, for the cloud. So this is one of the good uh, tool for the test case management, right? And you can have a Zephyr also. You can have there are several in the market, the test case designing tools or the test management tools. Then the next step is to test the environment setup. So if we talk about the Salesforce, these are the sandboxes where you need to go and test the particular requirement in the test environment. So basically, we need to set the environment for the testing. We should go and install the software in the test environment, right? And we should have the test data over there. Basically, in the test environment, what basically we do, we go and create the test data. For example, you have been testing a REST API, right? Which is getting some creating some Jira issues, let's suppose, right? So you should have a particular JSON of test data that you are providing to your API, to your body API body, that should create the Jira issues. So basically, during the test environment setup, we provide the test data. We set the environment like test data to to test the application. Then the test execution, after the environment is done, everything is done, code latest build is installed, latest code is there to test, then we go and start the test case execution module by module. Or you have different techniques. You first go and execute the high priority test cases, then you go for medium, then you go for low priority. This again depends according how you planning to test execute. Then after the test execution, we have the test closer. So reporting the bugs and retesting the bugs, then we need to uh, perform the test closure report. We need to submit the report. Okay, we have tested the application and there are so this much of bugs, this many of bugs are open, these many bugs are closed, these many are still in discussion. These kind of reports are comes under the test closure steps of SDLC. So now let's talk about the bug life cycle. So bug is a very known thing during the software testing. This is good for software testers, but not good for the development team. So when a software tester finds a bug, the smile always comes on the face. But as soon as he reports or she reports a bug to the development team, then it gives a kind of uh, oh, this is another bug for me. This kind of feeling. But bugs are good, actually. According to me, bugs are good because we have been finding reporting the things which have been skipped from the developer's mind. They have already built the application, they have written a very nice code, but there are some things which usually skips from his mind, right? Some use cases, some negative cases that a tester has reported. So these are actually goods. So basically, when a QA reports a bug, so basically QA is just telling the developer that, okay, these are the things that you have might skip. These could be the possible use cases, the test cases which you might have skipped. So let's fix these bugs and let's make the product reliable and the robust in any of these negative scenarios as well. So this is a bug life cycle, a typical bug life cycle. This there can be these in the green, these are the status of the bugs, right? As soon as you find a bug, from the left side if we start, as soon as you find a bug, it goes as a new status or a open status, right? So uh, I'm sorry guys, let me just have charger plugged in. Can you please hold on? Yeah, please let me get my charger. My laptop battery is down.
Sure, Nikhil.
Yeah, thanks. Okay, I'm sorry for this interruption, guys. Okay, so am I audible now again? And my screen visible?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, so let me go. Uh, okay, so the first one, we were talking about the bug life cycle. So the first one is the new status. If we talk about, if we go if we start from the left side, so new, and it could be open, right? So as soon as you report a bug, then the bug status is new and open. So if the bug status is any of these, so that means this bug is a new bug, right, reported by a QA team. And after reviewing this bug, this goes in a assigned status. So there could be a multiple developers, right? So this bug there, let's suppose there are 5 developers working on a system, and they have their components divided. So if suppose a developer D1 is working on a component C1, right, and this bug is from that component, so that bug will be assigned to that particular developer, right? So that is assigned means the developer is aware about the bug and he is working on that particular bug. And after the next status is the fixed, right? Here with the fixed there could be two more status, let's say duplicate. So this bug could be a duplicate of another one, right? So about a part of fixing it, that developer can mark it as a duplicate. But if this is not a duplicate, in this case we are considering the bug is not a duplicate bug. So the developer will once fixed, then developer changes the status of the bug to the fixed, right? As soon as it gets fixed, it is assigned to the QA team. Then QA team will perform the retesting of the bug, and they find two things. This is a decision status actually. So either the bug is not fixed properly, then it will go in the reopen state and assigned back to the developer as assigned. If it is fixed and fixed properly, then the bug will go to close. Close means there is no bug of that particular type. So the use case or the test case that the developer that the QA has executed is working fine and included in the code as well. So this bug life cycle depends again. This is a in general bug life cycle that we see on the screen as of now, but this could be uh, modified, or there can be more statuses according to the nature of your application, or the Jira manager or the tool manager who are handling this. So accordingly, because you need to share the bug report to your manager, you need to show your work in form of bugs, right? So there could be matrices that you need to show, okay, how many of those were duplicate bugs, right? So there should be a duplicate also status also need to be added here. So these all depends upon the your requirements. Okay, so these were the things which in general, right, about the software testing. Now let's talk about the testing in Salesforce. Why do we need testing in Salesforce? Because Salesforce is a software as a service platform, right? So why do we actually need software testing to be performed in Salesforce? Because Salesforce is already tested, right? So what exactly we need? Why do we need? So again, I have some top 5 reasons why do we need, or why Salesforce testers exist in the market. So the complexity of customization. Everybody knows Salesforce, provides a flexible customization, right? So they have Salesforce has provided the standard functionality, just like a standard Salesforce objects, right? And the standard applications like service, sales, right? So but on top of those standard functionalities that Salesforce have been providing, they have given you the access to customize your logic also. You can implement your customized requirements also. So the customization that a business needs, right, that need to be tested, because that is not tested by the Salesforce, because Salesforce has not implemented that. You have been asking a particular vendor or a company or a developer to customize to implement a customized requirement, so that needs to be tested again, right? And the second point is, why do we need a Salesforce? Why do we need testing in Salesforce? Because Salesforce provide integrations with other enterprise solutions, right? You can integrate software with Jira, you can integrate with DocuSign, you can integrate with G Suite. Right now Salesforce has taken over the Slack, right? So you can integrate the Slack with your Salesforce, right? And similarly like MuleSoft. So when you integrating Salesforce with third party solutions like Jira or something, so you need to make sure that the integration works correctly, right? Although these Jira things are also tested and software things are also tested, but there is always a mechanism to integrate these things, right? So we need to make sure that after the integration, right, the requirements are satisfied, the customers are, are not facing trouble, when they have been using that particular integrated platform. So that's why we need to do the testing in Salesforce. Another one is the migration, right? So sorry, many companies who are using old CRMs like Zendesk and Zoho, right? These although old word is not good, but if they want to, migrate from those the existing CRM to the Salesforce, right? So then also the migration will take place, and that migration, you know, during the migration process, there might be the data loss, right? So to make sure that data integrity, you need to test the Salesforce thing, you need to test your migration process. And the UI testing to enhance the user interface on desktop and mobile devices, since after this lightning introduced in the Salesforce, so they provide the UI, they have the they provide the capability to keep your layouts either on desktop or mobile or both, right? So if you have any customized component, LWC component, taken place on your page or on layout, right? So that needs to be tested for a desktop and mobile device mode. So the UI testing is also really important in Salesforce after the customized component has been developed. And this usually happens when you go and check any of your Experience Cloud software if you work with the community testing, right? So obviously the customer says, okay, I want this one more component, a customized component to visible on my community. So that need to be tested for desktop and mobile and other dimensional also for the UI visibility, and optimizing the performance of the overall application, right? So you know uh, let's suppose during the code review, the developer has not followed the good and the best practices, right? And the code that has been developed is not optimized, so that could slow down the overall application performance, right? So that also need to be tested to keep your overall application performance optimized. So performance testing is also really important. There are techniques to test the performance testing of the lightning pages. You can use the Google Chrome developer tools, to know what exactly is taking time during the page load or the resources loading time. And you can also have Salesforce also provides some out of the box functionality to know that particular load time of your application, of your lightning page. So these are the top reasons that we need this testing to be done in the Salesforce. So these are the few tools to test the Salesforce. You can go for the manual testing, like if you have migration and you have UI thing. So you can, if the scope is limited, then go for the manual testing. And if the scope is, large, then you should go for the automation testing. For example, you have one software which you release every 6 months, right? So the test cases will keep growing, the test base will keep growing, then manual testing will take more time. So that time, this is the right time to think about the automation testing. So there are some open source tools for the automation testing. You can use Selenium, you can use Playwright if your team is good in JS. And there are some paid tools, trial versions also. You can go for Prover, Excel Q, Context Q, QA, Test IM. So these are the well-known tools for the automation. The paid tools, these are, they have record and play, right? So you record your, let's suppose you want to test the create case with custom fields also. So you can log in and you can record your the process of creating your case in Salesforce, and it will automatically write the script for you side by side, right? So this is low code, actually low code no code tools. These are trending in the market. So if any one of you wants to have a try on these ones, so you can go and download those, have videos, so they have their content available, and you can use, and you can in your organization you can propose to save time. Okay, so guys, any questions so far in this one? This is all from my side about the Salesforce testing and the testing in general.
Nikhil, I have a one doubt. Like, in which case scenario we'll go with automated testing?
Automated testing, for example, let's suppose you have 50 test cases in any application, right? So
Mm,
50 test cases will not take more than 1 day, right? Or 2 days. It can be done within 2 days maximum if you go for a manual testing. But let's suppose you have 250 test cases, right? Or you
mm,
have more complex cases, right? So at that, to save time and to speed up your test process and your release cycle, basically, because release is now depending on the testing team, because developer has completed the development. Now the thing is in the testing team. So to speed up the process of test execution, you should automate the test cases. So this could be one of the reasons. Second, if you want to uh, for example, Salesforce give major releases, 3 releases in a year, right?
mm,
So Salesforce, they changes some DOM structures. For example, if you see the case button, the create case button, so if you inspect it and check, so in you might be in the previous release, this could be a button tag, but in the next release this could be an input tag. But in the front end you will see it as a button. There will be no difference on the front end, but on the back end this could be a input tag. So the script, your automated testing script could be
mm.
fail at that time, because that script will go for that will go and check the button tag, but there is no button tag because according to the release it has been moved to the input tag. So in such scenario also you should go for the automated testing.
Got it. Thank you.
Yeah, thanks. Any other questions, guys? Anything that comes in your mind related to the testing or bugs or verification, validation, anything, or any scenario where you stuck in your current organization in the testing, your manager says why you taking time. So if you have any doubt, any challenges in your current role, you can discuss.
Nikhil, so what are the skills required for Salesforce testers apart from this?
So the first thing is Salesforce admin skills, because testing in general is different, right? We have some guidelines, but when we go and test the Salesforce, so there is a major difference is the skills, right?
Mm,
For example, you have a custom field, right? You have created a custom field, or a developer has created a custom field but
mm,
forgot to add on a layout, right? So the field is there in the Salesforce, right? But it is not associated, it is not on the page layout. So that is not a bug, because the if you go and create a bug, so developer will suspend it because you have not uh, placed it on a layout, right? So you
mm.
should be very clear about the configurations of Salesforce, because Salesforce is customized. So you should be very very clear about the basics of Salesforce, using Salesforce, the basic skills, the admin skills, the basic admin skills. I'm not saying you should be you cannot be a Salesforce tester if you don't know how to create a flow. I'm not saying like this, but you should be, you should have basic skills, where to test the debug logs, how to open the developer console, right? How to
Mm,
create a custom object, how to create a custom field, right? What are the limitations of a license of a software, of a sale of Salesforce? Let's say you have developer work, you have sandbox, you have full copy sandbox. So what are the different limitations, what are the different profiles right, available, what are the API limits in a different licenses. So these all you should be very clear about. Then only you can go and raise the questions. Then only you can, think about more use cases to test the Salesforce applications.
Okay. Means admin skills are required for Salesforce tester, right?
Yes, basic admin skills is required for this.
And what about integration and LWC?
So you should be, once you have basic skills of Salesforce, then you will be very curious to know about LWC, and you will be very curious to know about integrations, how
Mhm.
this has been. For example, you have been assigned on a project as a QA, which has an integration with Salesforce and Jira, right? So
Yeah.
so you should be very, if you want to test it in deep, so you should be very curious to know about how integration works, what kind of use cases could be there to know. And these days, ChatGPT can help you a lot in knowing the edge cases, use cases, corner cases of the integration things. So you should go and take the benefit of using AI.
Okay.
Yes.
Is there any specific Salesforce certification for?
No, as of now, there is no specific certification for Salesforce testers. Yes, there is no from the Salesforce side as of now. But if you want to do the certifications, so ISTQB, okay, this is an international testing board. So they provide the software testing certifications which are applicable uh, in India and outside the India as well. So you can go for that ISTQB certifications. Yes. Okay. Any other questions, guys? Okay. So let's move to the quiz part. So I have 5 questions in this quiz again. So this will,
Am I audible?
yes, yes, you're audible. Yes. Hello.
We are like exploring field. Am I
Yes, yes,
hello?
you're audible now.
Am I audible?
Yes, you're audible.
Yeah, yeah.
Yes.
So we are facing an issue that you prefer organization is money on the side of Tosca because it is more for
Abhishek,
Tosca
your voice is breaking.
and other.
You
Hello.
I'm sorry, your voice is, yes. Hello. Your voice was breaking.
Okay. Now it is
It is breaking still. Guys, are you facing the same problem, or is it with me?
No, for us also it's breaking.
Okay, okay. Guys, any other questions, guys? Okay, so I think we should go and move on the quiz part, Ashish, right?
Yeah, you can.
Okay. So this is the first question that is, related with the Salesforce testing. So what is the primary objective of UAT in Salesforce? We have four options: to validate the functionality of new Salesforce features, to ensure the
C.
sales. Sorry,
Option
Proceed.
C.
C.
option C.
Yes.
Yeah.
Why option C? Why not B?
Integration and external systems. We have integration testing.
Okay,
Uh, yeah.
that's right.
Yes.
That's
Yes.
right. Okay, that's right. Let's go for the second one. What type of testing focus on verifying the integration between Salesforce and external
B.
systems? Okay,
B.
integration testing. Yes,
Yeah.
that's
Integration
right.
test.
That's right. Thank you. The third one is, which of the following statements about custom object testing is true? Custom objects do not require testing. Is this true? Testing custom objects involve validating their field, relationship, and data integrity.
Option B.
Option B.
Option B. Option
Yeah,
B.
option B.
Yes.
Okay. And what about option D?
As per my understanding, option B is right.
Option B is right. Yes, that's the right answer. Option B.
Yes.
And which testing technique is commonly used to ensure the data integrity of custom objects?
Mm,
Data
How
validation.
would how would you make sure that data is there in the custom objects?
Data validation testing?
D.
Regression.
I'm sorry.
No.
Rig
Option B.
Data validation.
It's field
data
level
validation.
testing.
Yes.
Field level testing.
Field level testing. Field level testing. Okay. And someone
Yes.
just mentioned about regression testing, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So why regression testing?
Testing the logics.
Okay. Okay. So okay.
But
So the
data means data validation.
yeah, option D is right, data
Yes.
validation, because
Data
we
validation.
we are talking about the data integrity, right?
Yes.
Where if we talk about the field FLS testing, right? If we talk about the fields of visibility testing, then we will go for the field level testing. But in this, we are talking about the data integrity. For example, we have a custom object where I want my users not to, enter some abusing keyword, right? Or something that is not appropriate, then I can have some data validation on that.
Yes.
So data validation is the right answer. Regression testing we do when we have made any changes, right? And for example, you have two versions of software, right? One is already there and you have made some changes in another version of a particular component. Let's say you have added a captcha at login, but login was already working fine, so you have added captcha. So that time you would need to do the regression testing of entire login functionality to make sure that the captcha is not impacting the currently working feature, the currently working login functionality. That time we need to do the regression testing.
Yes.
Okay, so we have a last question. What is the purpose of field level testing for custom objects, guys? Performance.
Option B to validate the data types, formula, and validation.
Okay.
Why is it
Option
option?
D to evaluate the accessibility
Option D.
testing. D.
Last.
Option option D.
Op- why option D? I think option B is the right answer,
Yes, option B.
because evaluate the accessibility settings of custom object fields is
Something.
not relevant to this,
Yes.
because we are going to test the field level testing. The purpose of field level testing is to validate the data types, formulas, and the validation rules on the custom objects. So option B is the right one.
Yes.
Okay guys, this is all from my side. Thank you so much for joining. This is all from my side. If
Thank you.
anybody has any questions, you can ping me over the LinkedIn. You can have my LinkedIn ID. If you have any question related to the software testing, so you can ping me directly. Okay, you can send me the invitation. We can connect over the LinkedIn and we can discuss if you have any questions. So thank you all for joining this. Thank you so much, Ashish, for giving me the opportunity. Over to you.
Thank you so much, Nikhil,
Thank you
for
so
interacting section and very knowledgeable session. I hope everyone enjoyed this session.
Yeah. Thank you, Nikhil sir and Ashish sir
much.
for organizing
Thank
the
you.
Thank
session.
you, Ashish.
Thank you so
Thank
much.
you.
Thank you so much, guys,
Thank you
and
for organizing
keep
and thank
sharing the
you for
knowledge. Thanks. Ashish, you can announce the winner of the quiz, or
Yeah,
if you
so
have noted
I
down.
have noted down all the course. Four person I have noted down. Uh, Vaibhav, Abhishek, Anmol, and Sherisha, the swags winner. So I will share the email for the address and everything confirmation. Then I will send you the cool swag.
Thank you, Ashish.
Thank you, everyone. Then I will send you the email for
Yeah,
the information and the things.
yeah. Thank you, everyone, and congratulations to the winner. Keep
Thank
Thank
sharing
you.
you,
the
sir.
Thank you so
knowledge.
much.
Yeah.
Thank
Thank
you.
you. Bye bye.
Thank you,
Bye.
Bye bye.
Bye.